Ever since people appeared, they've been constantly taking part in a battle. But in this battle, people weren't fighting against each other, but more within themselves. As their intellects started to develop more, they've also started to see the world they live in as something more than meets the eye. It became both a source of inspiration and a never-ending enigma, a world where everything seemed possible, yet still questionable. A giant jigsaw that not even today it is entirely solved. I'd like to begin by introducing you to a pretty basic yet very, very interesting concept, something I like to call the almighty rule of compensation. Why so? Because it can do miracles on how we perceive the elements surrounding us at all time. Let's say you have a glass of water that's not 100% full. What can we see other than the part that's already full, obviously? Exactly, the one that isn't. Now, pour out all the water so that there's no more left. What do we have now? Nothing more than a simple glass. See, we can't even think of fullness and emptiness anymore because there's no more water involved. Here's another example. You're in a room with a light bulb in the middle. I suppose you've already figured out that now we've got a room that's partially bright and partially dark. But what if light didn't exist at all? Could we even talk about darkness? Or even a more general situation, could there be void without matter? Of course, the most important question in this case is, can the impossible exist without the possible? As you may have already realized, the concept of impossibility and of something being this or that much possible to be done only exists as something perceptive, because although we see some things as being still superior to our cognitive and practical abilities, this aspect is nothing but a delusion people have created over the generations, thus labeling all the things that are still to be mastered. Simply put, something apparently impossible can't really exist if it isn't at least a bit possible in some way. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist at all. And now comes the question, what about the human brain? What about creativity? What about all the things that just seem pure fantasy? Well, my opinion is that the human brain, along with its complex activity, is so rooted in reality that even the fact that we can think and talk about such things makes them possible, and that even fantasy can be as real as me standing right here talking to you. I bet we've all thought about the things one can do and the ones that simply seem unreachable. Not once, but many, many times. And as human beings, we've also tried to concretize these thoughts into something, more tangible in order to use them later on whenever we feel the need to do so. The problem is that even such simple things can become hard work for our brain, mainly because they consist of such ambiguous and abstract approaches. But just as something that consists of two antithetical elements, we can see possibility and its opposite as being two things constantly trying to find a balance, just like two objects on a pair of scales. But this balance may not always be convenient, with, impossibility taking over and even becoming a huge obstacle standing against those striving for breaking boundaries and assuring the progress of the humankind. But I like to think that despite all of these, we have succeeded in surprising ourselves and becoming more and more conscious about the power we hold in our hands. This power helped us prove that skepticism is nothing but an excuse to stop us fighting for what we want, for turning dreams into achievements. To conclude my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to make it clear once and for all that this battle is still going on and it won't stop until people have given up dreaming. And yes, possibility and impossibility may depend on various things like statistics, facts, and so on. But above all of these, it depends on us. It depends on us how we define these terms. It depends on us whether we want to consider impossibility as being real or not. It depends on us if we still want to carry on fighting. Because in this case, it's fighting that keeps us alive. Thank you very much.